We understand that Catherine Herridge may have some her at Fort Meade in Maryland. Catherine?
Okay. Was there an explanation?
No. Sentencing tomorrow.
Yep, we just had some information that's come out of the courtroom via that information center. And what we've told is that on that first count, that most serious count, Bradley Manning was found not guilty of aiding the enemy. On the second charge, which had 16 specifications, he was found guilty of 15 of those specifications and not the 16th. And I'm afraid to say, I've come to you so quickly I don't have the third. But the major headline is that according to our producer in the courtroom, on that aiding the enemy, he was found not guilty. And just to recap, that was considered a very high threshold. Again, 3 key elements. Intelligence, that this was information that was helpful to the enemy. I think one could make the argument that it was helpful. It was found in Osama bin Laden's compound. Second, that it was indirect. It was done with the knowledge that it would go to a third party and then be accessible to the enemy. And then the third, which may be ultimately the highest hurdle to cross, that it was knowingly. In effect, the accused had knowledge that his actions directing this material to a third party would lead it to the hands of the enemy, and this was done with intent. When we have more information, we'll bring it back to you, Shannon.
All right, Catherine, I want to ask you, I know that more is going to trickle out for you. Can you tell us when the sentencing would take place on the guilty charges?
Sure. Well, one of the interesting things in the military courts is that there's really no pause. They don't skip a beat. In a traditional military case, you would go right to the sentencing later this afternoon. In this particular case, it's been sentenced to begin tomorrow. And what's key here is like a federal criminal case, which you are well familiar with. There will be evidence presented by the prosecution as aggravating factors, and then also by the defense as mitigating factors, and then the judge will reveal what the sentence is. Now, to give you some context, in the briefing we had this morning at that information center, they said if he was convicted on the second and third pot or bucket of charges, that was a maximum of 154 years alone. Now, he's 15 of the 16 counts in the second, so we're looking at significant jail time, I would argue, beyond life in prison at this point, if that's what's leveled by the judge.